Hey there, it's Lasse here, and I'm out by my hut, which is in the woods. I've been building on it for perhaps a bit over a month. That's not working straight, just being here from one day to the next and seeing what I could perform, what I could manage, what I could do with the structure. Has fire place dug out inside. You can sit over there. You can even sleep. I made it so. And yeah, you can chop some wood right here. You can use it as a makeshift table, whatever. Yeah, it's going to be great. I think just a small hut to yeah sleep, camp out, and have some outdoor activities going. But right before it was a beautiful. We just had a quick opening, clearing up of the sky, and I thought, well, I might just move the fire out here and enjoy the weather, but nah. Just as I sat down, almost practically it just shut off. So now it might start raining. So this might have been a very bad idea, but you never know. That's what's interesting about the outdoors. You never really know what you're going to get. Oh damn! I'm first of all I'm boiling water because I want to make coffee. When I have a cup of coffee, um, I want to have a toast for my friend with whom I departed just today, and that is also my friendship with this guy is what I would like to talk about today. Friendship is a very important thing, and I perhaps didn't recognize that as deeply, profoundly before. However, it really hits me this time. I think I've begun noticing how viscerally a good friendship will impact a person, how it has impacted me. And there's, of course, a certain amount of sadness associated with leaving a good friend behind, or seeing him leave you behind because he has to go back to his home country and fight the good fight there, which I admire. And of course I understand that you come from a country, you belong to that land. I belong to the Scandinavian stretches, the Scandinavian swathes. No one can take me away from here. This is where my ancestors settled. This is where they made a living, and this is also where I'll make a living. I belong to these woods, and he belongs to his land, which is in Croatia. So I get that he has to go back and he has to do what he can to help the situation down there, which is much worse than it has been here in Scandinavia. So, what can you do but say goodbye and commemorate your pal with a cup of coffee in the woods? But yeah, this friendship meant a lot to me. It was not a customary friendship by any stretch of the imagination. It was very much it was a philosophical, almost platonic form of relationship. Not that it wasn't a friendship of the heart. It was that as well. But the most central or proximal, crucial aspect of our relationship was the philosophical edification of the both of us. I think we both needed to cleanse some bad ideas and to replace them with some new ideas, and we were helping each other to refine our thinking and our philosophy. And we were both by nature philosophically astute. We knew how to conduct philosophical discourse. He was perhaps a bit better than I than to nurture forth from a person through conversation his ideas, so that he could actually see what he was really thinking himself, and maybe see how that. He was very good at the Socratic method. He mastered that uh, quite deftly, which I admired, of course, and I learned from that, as you do from a good friend. Um, I think that what made our friendship very great was the fact that we were somewhat displaced in terms of our intellectual abilities. He was more of a visual, mathematical thinker, and I was more of a verbally um, um, astute or gifted person, apt. Um, so we could complement each other quite well. And it seemed that there was a kind of synergy in our conversation that I don't normally perhaps experience with just another verbally gifted guy, because it can almost become too much of a, like one guy says, it's like the conversation can spin off too much in just one direction, where he kept the overview of the conversation and knew where he wanted to go. So sometimes when he was lacking the words, I would sort of hand him a sentence. He would receive it, accept it by repeating it, and then going on from there. So we were helping each other along, forming our ideas, and then we ended up merging or developing a joint worldview that was based on the CTMU, the cognitive theoretic model as formulated by Christopher Michael Langen, the highest IQ guy perhaps in the world, perhaps ever. I would suppose so. So we had a great friendship, and we developed a sophisticated worldview together. And it was very important for us to do that, because when you are, let's say, a philosophically capable person, you need to nurture your understanding of philosophy. You need to develop a sensible philosophy. Otherwise, you're going to have a very hard time functioning properly in the world, and you will run into all sorts of problems. Well, all in all, it was a friendship from God, in a sense. It was just what I needed, just at the right time, at the right moment. And now that he's leaving, it's just a sign for me to move on myself and go towards the goal that I already set for myself. He's left today, and I'll be moving on soon as well. And I don't think it'll be the last I hear from him, or that he hears from me necessarily, but it's at least now there was a kind of closure to the relationship, a kind of full circle, that now it was time to move on. I had known him for 1.5 years perhaps, and now it was time to move on. But it's always hard to say goodbye to a friend. It can be hard to find the words, right? I remember that I told him about this. There's just this, well, the Scandinavians will know this, but there's a Swedish folk song called Vem kan segla, and it's about, well, it goes like this, translated into English. Who can sail without winds? Who can row without oars? Who can depart from his friend without shedding tears? And then the second verse goes on and saying, well, I can sail without winds, I can row without oars, but I cannot depart from my friend without shedding tears. And it's a beautiful song, and I could perform it for you. I could perform it here for you in Swedish, but you can just go and search it online. Vem kan segla? Who can sail? Just search like who can sail without a wind, then you'll probably find the Swedish version. That's the best. You can also find perhaps a Danish one, but the Swedish is better. It's a more beautiful language. But it says it all very nicely, right? You can, like, who can do the impossible in a sense? Who can sail without winds? Well, that's a paradox. Of course you can't. But then it goes on to say, well, I can do the impossible things that no one else can, but the most impossible of all impossible things I cannot do, which is to say goodbye to my friend without feeling sad about it. And I think that is just a symptom of a healthy relationship, that you've actually done each other good, and that it meant something. It was edifying. It was element for the soul, in a sense. It was nutritious, spiritually nutritious, to have that friendship, and it made me a lot more. It helped shape my character as well. So yeah, all in all, just a great guy, great friendship there. Just this is sort of like a tribute to the sanctity of friendship, that we should also please be, at least many of us, be blessed to have close friends. He mentioned this thing about Denmark. He had a lot of criticism of Denmark, which I found to be in good taste. It was hitting the nail. And there was one thing he said, that he didn't feel that people had friends in Denmark, and I think he was completely right about that. That in Denmark, most people don't really have friends. They just meet and they drink, they get drunk together, smoke weed together, whatever, and that's what they call friends. But can you really trust that person? Can you rely on that person? Could you put your own life in that person's hands, knowing that that person would not fail you? And no, I don't think for the most part that in Denmark you have those friendships. I think we have a system that sort of discourages, if not impedes, those kinds of friendship. But I can get more into that later in another video, perhaps. I just wanted to let you know that it's very important to find friends in this world, and if you find someone who really gets you, with whom you share, a common mentality, you shouldn't take that lightly. You should treasure that very deeply, and you should know what a blessing it is to have friends. Friendship is so important, and you can never underestimate the importance of a really good friend, of a true friend. So yeah, I think it's about ready to be ready, the coffee. So I might just put this on pause, and we'll get back when I'm ready to make a toast and just celebrate my friend. Alright, great. So with the coffee ready, I think we'll now proceed to the commemorative part of this video. I don't really know what to say. I haven't planned anything. I just felt that it would be nice, for the sake of good old custom, to have a toast and commemorate, or just extol the virtue of friendship, the sanctity of friendship, and commemorate my own very good friend. Yeah, it's a solemn day for me today. That's why I'm here in the woods, where I go if I have something to contemplate, something to process within myself. And it's a beautiful fire, of course. I might just stoke the fire a bit and then come back. Yes, so cheers to friendship, and yeah, a toast for my friend Yudai, who will now be traveling back to his homeland, where he'll find a way to fight the good fight. Cheers. Damn, it's good coffee. Maybe just. Yeah, you'll need friends to, in order to surmount the obstacle that's on the road we're treading right now. Stick to your friends. Learn from your friends. Celebrate friendship. Know it to be dear and hard won. It's not. True friendship is not an easy thing to find. It's not an easy thing to. It requires attention, nurture, diligence, in a sense. Like, you have to. Like, if you're in a good friendship, it'll start to work on its own. It'll start to just breathe on itself. But it's by itself. But it can still. It's still to be treasured and still to be guarded against just, lack of care. Words don't come to my mind as rapidly, as fluently, as seamlessly as they might sometimes do, so please, yeah. Bear with me. Yeah, again, it takes a while. I feel very blessed to be in the situation I'm in right now. There's a lot of opportunity to change the course that the society's traveling or going. Because it's not really a journey, it's the end point is it's not exciting. It's not a place you would you go to form your character. No, quite the opposite. Quite the opposite indeed. Yeah, I probably don't have much more to say other than, yeah, great if you by you to stop. Yeah, it was great of you to stop by, and yeah, hope you received the message. I don't know if it was a really good video. I just felt that I had some things to share. I think we can never underestimate the value of friendship. So just know that the friends you make in this life, if you really make a good friend, hold on to that. Don't let that go. It can save you in many ways you didn't even expect. So remember that friendship is important. Yeah. So yeah, be on your way, and I hope you make it to the other side along with the rest of us. See ya.